Hey, I woke up this morning worse than yesterday. My throat's about as bad as it was Saturday. And my fiance asked me if he could take me to the clinic. And I said, I need some sleep first before I can even go. So he's going to come back at lunchtime. I'm also worried about him taking off more time at work. And I was worried about going to the clinic in the first place because my high-risk OBGYN had said that my immunity to rubella or German measles was really low. I guess I didn't get some vaccine that I was supposed to get. The problem is if I get rubella while I'm pregnant, that could seriously affect the baby. So, and there's a lot of people who are very against vaccines for their kids. So, the outbreaks of German measles have gone up. So these are things that seem crazy for me to worry about, and yet I am terribly worried about it. But I understand the anti-vaxxers to a degree. I do. With the dysautonomia, with the autonomic nervous system issue that I have, there's a lot of vaccines that I stopped getting at some point in my 20s because I always got sicker when I got them. The flu vaccine was the main one. I still, got stuff like Gardasil, which actually that really made me sick. I still got, basic stuff, although I know the tetanus shot I had a bad reaction to in my early 20s. I had trouble breathing, so I'm overdue on tetanus shots, that's for sure. But I don't know how the rubella thing escaped me. Maybe I accidentally didn't get it, thinking that it was part of the tetanus diphtheria thing and not, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea, but I didn't get my follow-up one. And I wasn't expecting to get pregnant, so I didn't get one ahead of time. And so now the only way I can give immunity to the baby is if I wait until after she's born, and then I can get the vaccine, and then she can get immunity through my breast milk. And then, eventually when she's, I think, about 6 months old or something, she can get the shot as well. But in the meantime, I'm worried about going to places like clinics. And at this point, I'm pretty sure I may have a sinus infection, and I'm not recovering and got worse today than I was yesterday. So I may need antibiotics is the only reason why I would go. At this point, I'm pretty aware of how to take care of myself when I get sick like this, so I don't usually go to the doctor because I would be, putting myself in a position where I could catch something maybe even worse than I already have. And going to the clinic is so exhausting in the first place. Just getting out of bed is so exhausting. So I don't usually go to the doctor. And most doctors, particularly at clinics, are not going to really know what my health issues are. And when they know my health history, they get really scared. And then they get sometimes scared to prescribe me anything. I'm allergic to a lot of antibiotics, most antibiotics except for a couple. Sulfa in particular gives me anaphylactic shock. Most of them give me hives. So then they become reluctant to even give me anything, even though I desperately will need something, and it's better to just give me something and knock it out, whatever it is. So, excuse me. Going to a clinic is sort of an ordeal that, a dysautonomia patient, a POTS patient, or postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or anybody with a long-term chronic illness whose immune system is not that great. Going to a clinic means we're exposing ourselves to other germs. We don't know if we're going to actually get the care that we need anyway, so is it worth the risk? We also have to deal with the bullshit of whatever the care offers us, will I have to argue with the doctor about getting antibiotics? I've had to argue before. One time I had to argue, and I ended up having the flu later. But I had a sinus infection and bronchitis as secondary infections on top of some kind of flu. And I was sitting there having to argue with him about getting antibiotics. I could tell I was going downhill fast, and he just wasn't getting it. But that's what happens. My regular doctor's office, she's a bit far away. I may have to get a new doctor at this point. We just moved, so she's about an hour away. And even still, I may not, a lot of times I can't get in to see my regular doctor when I need to. And they usually advise me if I have something like this to just go to a clinic. So I have all those worries and concerns about going to a clinic to begin with, but now with the pregnancy, now I'm concerned about measles. I'm concerned about, rubella, because there are a lot of people out there that now carry it because they're not getting their kids vaccinated. The kids have it, but it is what it is, and at some point I have to go, so I am going to go. And wish me luck. And I'm sorry, I'm starting to drift off now. All right. Good morning. Take care.